Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We have Mr. Medvedev, Dmitry Medvedev, again telling us something that I don't think it comes as a surprise for you and I, but who knows, at least not for me. And he finally tells us something that should be said, should be said out loud, because I think that's a fact. That's my assessment. So let's see what Mr. Medvedev, the crazy Medvedev nowadays, has to say. And obviously this comes from Sputnik, Russia Today. Pardon me. You may say they're the same, but anyway, you understand. May 30th, 2023. Britain, and I'm quoting, de facto at war with Russia. Medvedev. So, no, it's not written any declaration of war, but it's, factual that they are actually at war with Russia. So, what do? Do you defend yourself? Because I don't remember Russia attacking Britain. Therefore, results that Britain attacked Russia. The former president issued a warning after London condoned a drone attack on Moscow. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev has described the UK as waging an, and I'm quoting, undeclared war against Russia. The comment came after Britain's Foreign Secretary condoned a large-scale drone attack on Moscow earlier this week. I covered that in a video, and I did not contradict or challenge that, I think, not very smart Secretary of Britain's Foreign Secretary. I think his name is clever, but he's not clever at all. Because I think Ukraine has the right to hit back, under the current circumstances. What I have a problem with is the Ukrainians hit apartment buildings. Now, those are civilians, therefore attacking civilian infrastructure would make you a war criminal if civilians are killed. The problem is I didn't hear any condemnation coming from the West regarding that thing. So yes, that weasel could have said, yeah, they have the right to, and they used a little weasel expression, this Cloverdale from Whitesnake, not that one. Another clever something I will probably get down here. I'm going to find his weasel name. And no offense if your name is the same as this weasel, you're not a weasel. So anyway, we hear, so no condemnation on that. Also, the Ukrainians destroyed in Belgorod, according to the Russians, but the same thing is true for the Ukrainians, where Ukrainians say, well, there's many civilians were killed by the Russians, nobody questions that. So why is not the other way around? Because it doesn't happen? I don't think so. Why I don't think so? Because I'm not an idiot. That's a war. Do you think that, oh, the rockets, a missile, that civilian, go around or go back somewhere? So let's see what else this guy has to say here. So, in a Twitter post on Wednesday, Medvedev accused London of being Moscow's, and I'm quoting, eternal enemy. Well, they've been for, I would say, on and off, 200 years at least. The former leader who currently serves, why do I say that? Look at the Napoleonic Wars as well. That's where you kind of have it. The former leader who currently serves as deputy chair of Russia's Security Council claimed that based on international law, and I'm quoting, including the Hague and Geneva conventions with their additional protocols, Britain, and I'm quoting, can also be qualified as being at war, end quote. The former president argued that by providing Ukraine with weapons and training, the UK, and I'm quoting, de facto is leading an undeclared war against Russia. What the have I been talking about all this time? Now you say it. Medvedev hinted that this could have direct ramifications for public officials, end quote, in Britain. So again, here is Medvedev on Twitter. The UK Foreign Secretary cleverly, all right, no, Cloverdale, oops, we don't want that. Cleverly, that's the guy, has stated that Ukraine has the legitimate right to, and I agree up to here. Jesus Christ, man, I'm not going to touch that. Project force beyond its borders. Now this project force is very vague, if you know what I mean. And I'm talking about, and I covered it in that video which I made yesterday. Beyond its border to undermine Russia's ability to project force into Ukraine itself. And I gave some examples over there and some scenarios, and I would like to know if Mr. Cleverly agrees with those scenarios. That's why this project force is a very, very vague BS. Come back to where it belonged. According to him, legitimate military targets beyond Ukraine are part of its blah blah blah, and I'm not gonna go, and so on. His tweet cited remarks made on Tuesday by UK Foreign Secretary James Cleverly. Remember James Clever? Those two, I read 2 books on that, Shogun, and I think it was the other one, what the hell, the Noble House, beautiful books, who said Ukraine has the right, but that's not this guy, I gotta tell you that. Just start with a name and stop here. James Clever, I think it was, has the right to project force beyond its borders to undermine Russia's ability to project force into Ukraine itself. Alright, Cleverly further claimed that striking legitimate military targets in Russia is an acceptable part of Ukraine's self-defense. I agree with that. But hey, civilian apartment buildings are not military targets, are they? Unless we go by BBC's announcement after the 6th of August 1945. When I had the audio, when BBC said, reported the United States dropped an atomic bomb over military facilities or something, in military, what they say, facilities, I think, in Hiroshima. And we found out what those installations, I think it was installations. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, 8 UAVs were detected in Moscow airspace on Tuesday morning in what officials described as a terrorist attack by Kiev. Well, civilians, and it's a terrorist attack. Could be, isn't it? I mean, the ministry, let's say, how would you qualify? How would you name the attack on Pentagon in September 11, 2001? How would you qualify that as being? A terrorist attack? Leave the ones that, destroyed people and so on. In Pentagon, I haven't heard of anybody being killed. Wasn't anybody killed over there? It should have been by the destruction. But was that a terrorist attack? If someone blows up a bridge, is that to create terror? It is. So it qualifies. So I think the same thing here. They try to create terror. If you look at the definition of terrorism and terror in a dictionary, we still have dictionaries, by the way. It says, creating panic and all this, so you can change, you have an impact on the political, social system in that particular country by means of this and that. Qualifies? I think so. I'm not going to go into definition. You can look at yourself, my friends, because I did that before and YouTube did not like it. Why? Because it was a dictionary. You know what I mean? Several residential buildings sustained superficial damage and 2 people suffered minor injuries as a result of the raid. So, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov accused Kiev of launching the attack in an attempt to avenge a recent series of Russian missiles and drone strikes on Ukrainian airfields, ammunition dumps, and decision-making centers. So, well, I said this from the very beginning. If I would be, let's say, fighting for whatever reason, I attack them or they attack me or I'm unprovoked, I fight with a neighbor. And there's another 5 neighbors in the neighborhood that have nothing to do with us. They're not related to these guys, they're not friends with those guys. No, and they start providing that guy with weapons and intelligence and tell them where my weak points are, and they should start killing my family? How am I supposed to say, hey, without your weapons, these weasels would not have been able to kill my family? Even if I attacked, let's say I attacked those guys, there's no treaty between you guys, alliance or anything, like in a Second World War or a First World War. Treaties and alliances, nothing like that. And you give him weapons to kill my people, my family? How am I supposed to call you? That's how I'm supposed to call you. No? I mean, put yourself in my shoes. How should I put it? Ignore who started it. Let's say I started it. Let's say 100% I'm a bad guy and I attack that guy and you help him. What am I supposed to consider you as? Friend? No, you're not friend, because you were a friend, you would give me the weapons. If you're neutral, you would not give to either, or you would give to both the same amount. If you give him, you're with him. I mean, come on, I have to go to kindergarten to explain this again? I mean, how low do I need to drop this thing? So I think Medvedev is right about it. And as I always say, what are you going to do about it? Anything? What are you going to do? Well, he leaves it an open-ended question, the whole thing. The answer could be not only yes or no, or you know what I mean? So maybe when a crazy guy will get in charge over there, I hope he's not going to do anything crazy. But otherwise, I don't think there's going to be any Kinzhals or Calibre cruise missiles or Iskander going over there without nuclear warheads, I'm talking. About Kinzhal and Iskander. No, nothing is going to be conventional against any other NATO countries. I don't think, because they don't have time for this. I'm talking about the Russians, and I don't think they can possibly win, even though I really believe in the manhood or manliness of the Russians. I mean, I look at these guys around me, and unfortunately not too many strong people as they used to be. A lot of them become soft. Remember, a soft environment creates soft organisms. This is a pretty soft environment right here, and it's becoming even more softer. Why? Just the idea of safe spaces. It should give you an idea of what does that mean. Or be kind instead of being truthful or strong. No, don't be strong, be a victim. Victimhood right now is a badge of honor and so on. Now that tells you which way the society goes. Now put those guys to fight the Russians, which I don't know how infected they are of this kind of, how should I call them, values. So anyway, my money would go on those guys, unfortunately, even though I'm on this side, so we'll see. I don't think we're going to get that point. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.